As Eliza Vance drove her luxurious new car home, a smile played on her lips, a testament to her recent birthday celebration. The joy, however, was abruptly cut short when a police cruiser suddenly appeared in her rearview mirror, its flashing blue lights an ominous sign. During their afternoon patrol, Officer Sharma, upon seeing a young black woman in such an expensive vehicle, immediately assumed the worst. "Look at that girl in the car," Sharma told new Officer David Chen, her voice dripping with suspicion. "She's a problem in this neighborhood. I'm certain she can't afford this car. She either stole it or her parents are into illegal business." Officer Chen, less judgmental, replied cautiously, "You can't be sure she stole the car, Officer Sharma. Her parents might be wealthy." Sharma scoffed, her gaze hardening. "Are you serious? An immigrant can't afford such a car. She stole it, or her parents are into something shady. I'm certain, and I'll prove it to you." Determined, Sharma sped off, pulling Eliza over. Eliza, surprised and confused by the sudden stop, rolled down her window. "What are you doing in this car, kid?" Officer Sharma interrogated, her tone immediately accusatory. Eliza, trying to maintain her composure, replied with a polite smile. "It's a gift from my parents for my 18th birthday, officer." Sharma's disdainful gaze fixed on Eliza, her assumption already firm. "I doubt your parents could afford a car like this for you. It's either stolen, or they're involved in something shady." "No way," Eliza asserted, her voice firming. "My parents aren't involved in anything illegal. My dad is a police captain. You might even know him, and my mom's a successful realtor. They bought this as my birthday gift. I'm their only child, and that's why they got it for me." Sharma's eyes narrowed, a flicker of something unreadable passing through them before her expression hardened again. "Get out of the car right now," she commanded, her voice sharp with authority. The revelation of Eliza's father's position seemed to only fuel Sharma's resolve. "Look, I really don't appreciate being treated like a criminal," Eliza said, her frustration growing. "I've done nothing wrong, and I won't allow you to violate my rights. I won't get down from my car. This isn't fair," Eliza asserted, reaching for the glove compartment. She pulled out the registration and insurance documents, holding them out to prove ownership. "My parents bought this car for my 18th birthday. It's not stolen." Sharma's face reddened, her jaw clenching at Eliza's defiance. Meanwhile, Officer Chen, sensing the escalating injustice, pulled Officer Sharma aside. "Hey, Officer Sharma, can I talk to you for a second?" he asked, his voice low. "Sure," Sharma replied, turning to him impatiently. "I think she's telling the truth. Her parents might be rich, and she has the original documents for the car. Let's not escalate this unnecessarily. Just let her go," Chen suggested, his expression earnest. He genuinely believed Eliza. Officer Sharma, however, remained resolute. "Chen, there's a lot you need to grasp about how things operate. Appearances can be deceiving, and we can't simply let someone off based on their claim of innocence. We need to conduct a thorough investigation." Chen tried again, "But she hasn't committed any crime. Those are the original documents for the car." Sharma cut him off sharply. "You better keep your mouth shut and watch if you have nothing else to say." She returned to Eliza's car, determined to find evidence to support her suspicion. "Hey, kid, you're wasting my time," I said. "Get down from the car. I need to search it," Sharma insisted, her voice rising. Before Eliza could protest further, Sharma reached in, grabbing Eliza's arm, and forcefully dragged her out of the car. The situation intensified, a mix of frustration and confusion washing over Eliza as she stumbled out onto the roadside, her rights openly violated. The search was about to begin, and Eliza felt utterly helpless. Eliza, still reeling from the officer's aggressive actions, could do little but sob with her head bowed as Officer Sharma continued her relentless search of the luxurious car. Every rustle and thump from within felt like a violation. After what felt like an eternity, but was only a few minutes, Officer Sharma straightened up, a triumphant smirk twisting her lips. In her hand she held a small, clear plastic bag containing a white, powdery substance. "Hey, kid!" Sharma's voice dripped with malicious satisfaction, holding the bag aloft for Eliza to see. "You claimed you didn't steal the car, and your parents weren't involved in illegal business. Care to explain what this is doing in your car?" Eliza's eyes widened in horror, her breath catching in her throat as a wave of devastating realization crashed over her. She knew, instantly, that she had been framed. The shock was palpable, a silent scream trapped in her chest as Officer Chen watched from a slight distance, his expression mirroring Eliza's disbelief. Tears streamed down Eliza's face, mixing with the dust and grime from her forced removal. The sight of the small bag in Sharma's hand ignited a desperate fire within her. "Oh no!" Eliza cried out, her voice cracking with terror and disbelief. "I swear it's not mine. I don't take drugs and my parents are innocent. I don't understand how that thing got inside my car. I'm being framed." Her trembling hands instinctively reached out, as if to push away the damning evidence, but Sharma merely held it higher, her gaze cold and unyielding. Eliza's pleas were raw, born of pure, unadulterated fear, but they seemed to bounce off Officer Sharma like water off stone. The officer's expression remained fixed, a silent declaration that Eliza's words held no weight against the evidence in her hand. Without a flicker of hesitation or a shred of empathy, Officer Sharma moved swiftly. "You're under arrest for the possession of illegal drugs," she declared, her voice devoid of any warmth, cutting through the afternoon air like a blade. The cold metal of the handcuffs clicked around Eliza's wrists, a sound that echoed the finality of her shattered innocence. Eliza, still pleading, still trying to explain, was silenced as Sharma pulled her firmly, almost roughly, towards the waiting police cruiser. Her protests became muffled whimpers, her body slumped in defeat as she was pushed into the back seat, the door slamming shut with a resounding thud. The injustice was absolute, undeniable. Officer Sharma turned to Officer Chen, a self-satisfied smirk playing on her lips. "I told you she's a criminal," she stated, her voice laced with triumph, holding up the small bag for him to see one last time. "That's the proof." Officer Chen remained silent, his eyes wide, fixed on the retreating form of Eliza in the back of the cruiser. He had witnessed the entire horrifying sequence, and a profound sense of unease settled deep in his gut. The smug satisfaction on Sharma's face was sickening, a stark contrast to the despair he had seen in Eliza's eyes. He felt a knot of internal conflict tighten, torn between his duty and the blatant injustice he had just observed. Despite Eliza's continuous pleas of innocence, Officer Sharma drove off towards the police station, leaving the luxurious car abandoned on the roadside. Upon arrival, the sterile, bustling environment of the station overwhelmed Eliza. The reality of her situation, the cold handcuffs, the accusing stares, became too much to bear. She couldn't contain her distress any longer. "Daddy, help!" she screamed, her voice raw and desperate, echoing through the busy lobby. Officer Sharma, annoyed, spun around. "Shut up! You don't shout in here," she warned. But Eliza persisted, her cries growing louder, more frantic. "Daddy, please help me!" Her anguished shouts drew the immediate attention of everyone present, cutting through the usual hum of police activity. In his office, Captain Vance, deep in thought, suddenly froze. A voice, distinct and utterly heart-wrenching, pierced through the walls. It sounded like Eliza, his precious daughter. A jolt of pure dread shot through him. He rushed out of his office, his heart pounding in his chest, only to be met with a sight that made the world tilt on its axis. There, in the middle of the bustling lobby, was Eliza, his daughter, in handcuffs, her face tear-streaked and distraught. "Eliza, what are you doing here? What crime have you committed? Why are you in handcuffs?" Captain Vance's voice was a mixture of shock, anger, and profound concern, his mind struggling to comprehend the impossible image before him. Eliza, seeing her father, felt a wave of tearful relief, despite her terror. "Daddy, I haven't done anything," she sobbed, rushing to him as much as her restraints allowed. "I think I'm being framed. This officer arrested me, accusing me of a crime I know nothing about." She gestured wildly towards Officer Sharma. Captain Vance's gaze sharpened, turning to the officer. "Is that true, Officer Sharma?" he demanded, his voice now firm, authoritative. Sharma, however, met his gaze with chilling composure. "Yes, sir. I didn't know she is your daughter, but I found this illegal drug in her car. I believe she's involved in the drug business, which is against the law." Captain Vance's jaw tightened. "You must be mistaken," he retorted, his voice unwavering, a protective wall around his daughter. "My daughter is responsible, and she can't do such a thing. There's a misunderstanding somewhere." He knew Eliza, knew her character, and the accusation was utterly preposterous. He stepped closer to Sharma, his presence commanding, daring her to challenge his conviction. Sharma, however, simply held his gaze, her expression unreadable, a silent challenge that only fueled Captain Vance's determination. He would not stand by and let this injustice prevail. Karen, however, confronted Captain Joshua with bold accusations. Sharma, unmoved by Captain Vance's defense, decided to escalate her audacity to an outrageous level. "If that's the case," she began, her tone dismissive, laced with a venomous implication, "what else do you do apart from being a captain? Do you run an illegal drug business as well? If this is found in her car, how much will be found at your house?" The words hung in the air, a shocking, deeply offensive insult hurled directly at a superior officer. Captain Vance stood stunned, his face a mask of disbelief. Then, slowly, a furious anger began to simmer beneath his composed exterior. "How dare you say such about your captain?" Captain Robert Vance's voice, though controlled, vibrated with a dangerous edge. Officer Anya Sharma, however, remained unfazed, a sneer playing on her lips. "I never liked you, sir. There's something fishy about you right from day one. I am going to investigate this matter. If that will be all, excuse me." With a defiant toss of her head, Sharma turned and walked out, her angry stride echoing through the silent lobby. Captain Vance watched her go, his jaw clenched. The audacity of her accusations fueled a cold fire in his gut. He knew he had to uncover the truth, not just for Eliza, but for the integrity of his badge. He returned to his office, the weight of his daughter's unjust arrest heavy on his mind, pondering how to secure justice for her. A short while later, Captain Vance entered the holding cell carrying a small bag of food. "Hey, Eliza, I brought something for you to eat, sweetheart. I'm truly sorry you're going through this." His voice was gentle, filled with a father's anguish. He reached out, gently touching her arm. "I'm working on getting you out of this place." Eliza looked up, her eyes red-rimmed and filled with fresh tears. "Daddy, I'm telling the truth. I know nothing about that drug." Her voice was a desperate whisper. Captain Vance met her gaze, his own eyes unwavering. "I believe you, Eliza. I know you couldn't do such a thing. I'm sure someone is behind all this, and I'm going to find them." His determination was a balm on her raw nerves. Captain Vance leaned in closer, his tones soft but focused. "Eliza, do you know if someone else was there when all this happened?" He watched her face carefully, hoping for a lead. Eliza paused, her brow furrowed in concentration, trying to sift through the traumatic memory. "Yes, Daddy," she finally said, her voice faint. "I think a male officer was there. He saw everything that happened, but I don't know his name. I can describe him for you." A flicker of hope ignited in Captain Vance's chest. This was it. The first concrete thread in the tangled web of lies. Back in his office, Captain Vance pulled out a stack of personnel photos, spreading them across his desk. "Tell me, Eliza," he urged, his finger tracing the images. "Does any of these officers match your memory?" Eliza peered at the faces, her eyes scanning each one with intense focus. Her finger trembled slightly as she pointed to a picture. "Yes, Daddy, he's the one! He was with her when all this happened. I believe he can tell the truth, that I'm innocent." Captain Vance's gaze sharpened on the identified officer. "That's Officer David Chen. He's a new cop." The name clicked into place, a crucial piece of the puzzle. Returning to Eliza's cell, Captain Vance offered a reassuring smile. "I'm going to talk to Officer Chen right away. He's the key to proving your innocence." He squeezed her shoulder gently. "Be strong for me and your mom, dear. We love you, and you'll be out of here in no time." Eliza managed a small, watery smile, a flicker of renewed hope in her eyes. With a final protective glance, Captain Vance turned and walked out, his steps resolute. He was a father on a mission, fueled by unwavering love and a burning desire for justice. As Captain Vance returned to his office, his mind already formulating questions for Officer Chen, he was met with a surprise. Officer David Chen stood respectfully by his desk, seemingly waiting for him. Vance paused, a curious expression on his face. "Officer Chen," he began, a note of surprise in his voice. "I was just about to send for you. I've got a few questions." Chen remained composed, his gaze steady. The air crackled with unspoken anticipation. What had brought the young officer here, unbidden? Officer Chen took a deep breath. "Sir, I might be a new cop, but I can tell right from wrong. Speaking up for the truth is what I've been taught." His voice was earnest, unwavering. Captain Vance listened intently, a growing sense of expectation building within him. "You might want to watch this," Chen continued, pulling out his phone. "It explains better." The words hung in the air, loaded with significance. Vance's eyes narrowed, all his focus on the young officer and the device in his hand. Officer Chen tapped his phone, and a video began to play. Captain Vance watched, his eyes widening in disbelief, then hardening with fury. The footage, shaky but undeniably clear, showed Officer Sharma, her back to the cruiser, glancing around nervously. When she believed no one was watching, she stealthily pulled a small, white bag of drugs from her pocket. The very same evidence she had found in Eliza's car. With a swift, practiced motion, she placed it under the passenger's seat. Moments later, the video cut to Sharma's triumphant declaration to Eliza. "Oh my goodness!" Captain Vance exclaimed, his voice laced with outrage. "I can't believe this. This is wrong, and Officer Sharma has to be held accountable for this." The truth, so long hidden by prejudice and malice, was finally laid bare. "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this!" Captain Robert Vance exclaimed, his voice laced with a potent mix of disbelief and fury. The damning footage played on Officer Chen's phone screen, undeniable proof of Officer Sharma's malicious frame-up. "This is utterly wrong, and Officer Sharma has to be held accountable for this abhorrent act." His jaw was clenched, but then his gaze softened as he looked at Chen. "Officer Chen, you don't know what you've done for me, for my daughter. I was just about to send for you. Eliza remembered you were with Sharma during all this. I hoped you could prove her innocence, but this video evidence is beyond anything I could have imagined." Vance clapped Chen on the shoulder, a proud smile breaking through his anger. "It's clear you're a good person, a man of integrity. I am very proud of you." Captain Vance's expression grew serious once more. "I'll need a copy of this video, Officer Chen, and please, keep this confidential between us for now. An official investigation will be carried out soon, and we need this evidence to remain airtight." Officer Chen, his face resolute, nodded. "Absolutely, sir. I'll ensure it stays confidential." He retrieved his phone and quickly transferred the video file to Captain Vance's secure device. As their hands met during the transfer, there was a silent pact of alliance, a shared commitment to justice. With a final, firm handshake, Officer Chen exited the office, leaving Captain Vance to confront the monumental task ahead. Captain Vance wasted no time. He swiftly moved to the holding cells, his heart swelling with relief as he saw Eliza. "Sweetheart, you're free to go," he announced, his voice thick with emotion. Eliza, still tear-streaked, looked up, a glimmer of disbelief giving way to profound joy. The paperwork was minimal, a mere formality. Within minutes, Eliza was out of the cell, wrapped in her father's comforting embrace, the nightmare beginning to recede. Returning to his office, Captain Vance immediately picked up the phone. His conversation was brief, formal, and to the point. "This is Captain Vance. I need to speak with Internal Affairs. I have irrefutable evidence of gross misconduct and potential criminal activity involving Officer Sharma." The wheels of justice had begun to turn. Barely an hour later, the door to Captain Vance's office burst open without a knock. Officer Sharma stood there, eyes blazing with furious indignation. "How could you let her go?" she shrieked, her voice echoing through the office. "Is it because she's your daughter, Captain? Knowing full well she committed a crime? You're abusing your power." Captain Vance rose slowly, his composure unwavering despite her outburst. "We will determine who committed a crime or not when a proper investigation is carried out, Officer Sharma," he stated, his voice calm but firm. "Now, I want you out of my office immediately." Sharma's face contorted with rage. "Fine. I will leave," she retorted, her voice dripping with venom. "But just know that your actions won't go unpunished." She spun on her heel and stormed out, leaving a chilling threat hanging in the air. As Officer Sharma retreated from Captain Vance's office, her anger simmered into a cold, calculating fury. She wouldn't simply accept this. She would find a way to make him pay, to frame him as well. Her mind began to churn, already devising a malicious plan to undermine and destroy her captain, just as she had attempted to destroy his daughter. The shadows of her private residence seemed to welcome her dark thoughts. A week later, the internal affairs investigation into Officer Sharma yielded shocking and deeply disturbing information. It turned out that her racially motivated profiling and framing of Eliza was just the tip of a much larger, more sinister iceberg. Sharma wasn't merely framing innocent individuals, particularly targeting black people. She was deeply involved in widespread drug-related activities. As a police officer, she had been secretly collaborating with illegal groups engaged in drug trafficking, using her badge as a shield. She had gone as far as helping transport illicit drugs from one state to another, her position as a cop allowing her to avoid suspicion for years. This revelation left Captain Vance profoundly shocked. It wasn't just about framing people. Sharma had played a significant, active role in illegal drug operations, raising serious concerns about her integrity and the very fabric of law enforcement she was sworn to uphold. The following day, Captain Vance stood before a somber assembly of officers in the police station briefing room. He greeted everyone, his gaze sweeping across the faces, some curious, some apprehensive. He delivered a brief speech, commending officers who consistently stood for the truth, regardless of the circumstances, and emphasized the unwavering commitment to justice. "Today," Captain Vance announced, his voice resonating with gravity, "I want to show you all something. Watch this carefully." A hush fell over the room as he moved to the projector, the anticipation in the air thick and palpable. The moment of truth was at hand. The projector whirred to life, casting a bright rectangle onto the screen. Captain Vance initiated playback, and the recorded tape, courtesy of Officer Chen, filled the room. Gasps rippled through the gathered officers as they watched in stunned silence. The footage clearly captured Officer Sharma, her face a mask of cold determination, pulling a small bag of white substance from her pocket. Then, with a furtive glance around, she placed it discreetly into Eliza Vance's car. A few minutes later, the video showed her triumphantly discovering the planted evidence, her voice accusing Eliza of drug involvement. The entire room was taken aback by the blatant, undeniable evidence of Karen's heinous actions. "Why would you do such a thing, Sharma?" one of the stunned cops whispered, the question hanging heavy in the air. Officer Sharma, present in the room, stood rigid, her head bowed in profound, inescapable shame. "That's not all," Captain Vance declared, his voice cutting through the stunned silence in the briefing room. He held up a thick file, its contents now fully exposed. Officer Sharma wasn't just framing innocent individuals, particularly targeting black people. She was also deeply entangled in drug-related activities. As a police officer, she secretly collaborated with illegal groups involved in drug trafficking, using her position to transport narcotics from one state to another, avoiding suspicion. A collective gasp swept through the room. Officers exchanged horrified glances, struggling to comprehend the depth of this betrayal. This revelation left Captain Vance profoundly shocked himself. It's not just about framing people. She had a significant active role in illegal drug operations. This raises serious questions about her entire tenure as a law enforcement officer, and her integrity. He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to sink in. "We've apprehended one of the group members, who has confirmed Sharma's direct involvement and her role in the transportation network." In the solemn atmosphere of the police station briefing room, Chief Eleanor Thorne stepped forward, her expression grave but resolute. She commanded the attention of every officer present. "As many of you are now aware," she began, her voice steady and authoritative, "we have conducted a comprehensive investigation into the actions of Officer Sharma. The findings have been carefully reviewed by both the Internal Affairs Division and the Disciplinary Review Board. Today, I must share with you the outcome of this thorough process." A hushed anticipation filled the air as officers leaned forward, bracing themselves for the official pronouncement that would bring this dark chapter to a close. Chief Thorne's gaze fixed directly on Officer Sharma, who stood with her head bowed, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. "Officer Sharma, based on the overwhelming evidence and the severity of your actions, you are hereby found guilty." Her words were clear, leaving no room for doubt. The charges against you include falsely arresting innocent individuals, particularly targeting them based on race, and engaging in extensive illegal activities while exploiting the police uniform as a cover-up for your drug trafficking operations. These actions have not only violated the sacred trust placed in you as a law enforcement officer, but have also significantly tarnished the image of our entire police force and the community we swore to protect. The weight of the declaration settled heavily over the room, the officers witnessing the formal condemnation of a colleague. Therefore, Chief Thorne continued, her voice firm with a commitment to upholding the department's integrity. It is with regret, but with an unyielding dedication to our values, that I must announce your termination from the position of police officer, effective immediately. We cannot and will not tolerate such breaches of trust and violations of the law within our ranks. This decision is not taken lightly, but it is absolutely necessary to maintain the public's confidence in our ability to serve and protect. She paused, allowing the finality of her words to resonate. The actions of one individual, however grievous, should not overshadow the dedication and professionalism of the vast majority of our officers. Chief Thorne then turned her attention to the rest of the force, her expression now one of encouragement and resolve. We will continue to work tirelessly towards building trust with our community and upholding the core values that define our noble profession. I encourage each and every one of you to remain committed to the principles of justice, fairness, and integrity that must always guide our work as law enforcement officers. She concluded with a firm nod. Thank you. Her address aimed to provide absolute clarity on the specific charges and the reasoning behind Officer Sharma's termination, emphasizing the department's unwavering commitment to integrity and public trust. After Chief Thorne's powerful announcement, a profound quiet settled over the police station briefing room. The officers, still processing the shock of Sharma's betrayal and her swift termination, looked at each other with wide, disbelieving eyes. A palpable sense of surprise and disbelief hung in the air. Some found it difficult to reconcile how a colleague, someone they had served alongside, could act so fundamentally against the very values they all believed in as law enforcement professionals. Captain Vance stepped forward once more, his expression serious, but tinged with the hope for the future. This is undoubtedly a tough time for all of us, he acknowledged, his voice resonating through the room. Officer Sharma's actions have not only deeply hurt our reputation, but have also damaged the fragile trust our community places in us. However, this moment is also a critical chance for us to collectively demonstrate our unwavering commitment to doing the right thing, every single time. He looked at each officer, urging them to rise to the occasion. As the news of the investigation and its outcome spread, Officer David Chen, whose bravery in speaking the truth and providing crucial evidence had been paramount, received widespread praise. Both the department and the community lauded his integrity and courage, recognizing him as a true hero. Following her termination, Officer Anya Sharma faced the full weight of the law. She was immediately subjected to legal consequences for her numerous crimes, ensuring that she was held accountable for her abuse of power and criminal activities. Justice, in its truest form, would be served. The entire situation became a pivotal moment, a catalyst for the police department to promise greater openness and transparency. They collectively committed to reinforcing ethical conduct within their ranks and to working more effectively and collaboratively with the community they served, striving to rebuild the fractured trust. What do you think about this story? Leave a comment below this video. Thanks for watching.